This conference will now be recorded.
Yay. Okay, and then I'm gonna change my to active cameras so I can see you. Awesome. You are adorable. You are so cute. All right. So, here's what I'm gonna do because you've never had EPT. Do you have any physical pain right now?
Not like in the moment, but like a lot of the times like my back will hurt or yeah, like I get body aches a lot. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so body aches, but right now you don't hurt.
No, right now I'm comfortable. I'm in my little comfy chair here, as you can
But
see.
but you so let me ask. So do you like when your back pain hurts, where does it hurt in your back? Like around your shoulders or your low back?
More lower back. Yeah, I'd say lower back.
And when it hurts, how long does it hurt?
Well, it usually hurts until I can sit down. Like if I
Oh,
stand for hours and or if I like do any kind of like heavy lifting or anything like that, my back will hurt really
oh man.
bad.
All right.
Something.
And you're a young thing. You should not hurt that way.
It's really, I know it's so weird. And I'm also like I also have hypothyroidism, which is weird because like I didn't think that people at this age would get hypothyroidism, but
Oh
apparently
yeah.
they can.
I had hypothyroidism.
Yeah, so that's not fun,
All
but
right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do what's called a body scan. So because you've never had EPT and because I know you've got some physical things that just don't feel good in your body.
yeah,
So we're going to see what we need to change there. The first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to talk about what we're doing is EPT, which is a completely different approach in emotional health care. And instead of using drugs or traditional talk therapy, we use the science of forgiveness. So we're going to identify what kind of emotional conflicts you might hold in your mind that have never been resolved. So your brain is like spending all this time trying to fix these memories, even when you're not paying attention to that, it's doing that. And what we'll do is we'll identify the memories and then we'll do forgiveness to give your brain a break trying to figure out what to do. So that's what we're
okay.
going to do. And I'm going to, as I always do, this is a Qigong machine, which is a sound machine. And I'm talking about this because this is going on me, right? Oh, like around my solar plexus, because it takes a lot of energy to do remote work of any kind. It just
Yeah,
does. And it puts you around all these energy fields of computers and 5G and all of that. And, you know, there's a lot written about it. I'm not an expert, but I do know this, that there's enough written that I am very cautionary. So when I'm working with people, I put something on me to ground me and to hold my energy down so that
yeah,
it doesn't wear me out to be able to do this. So
that's
if
really
a
cool.
person is watching this and they do energy work or they do any kind of remote counseling or therapy or coaching, I just want to tell you it takes a lot more of your energy to do this remotely than it does to do it in person.
Wow.
So yeah, so you really want to like find something to to kind of support you while you're doing this. If you're doing hours and hours, and some people are, I do lots of hours.
Yeah.
So, so I take care of myself and I tell the people I train, take care of yourself. All right, so we're going to start, and I use magnets. Now, I
Right.
know you don't have any magnets, and that's okay for 1 or 2 visits. But if I was going to do a lot of work with you, I would tell you, you got to buy magnets if we're going to keep this thing going on like this, because
Yeah.
I would want that to help shift you faster when we're doing the work. But in the meantime, you don't have magnets, so we'll kind of do some body work and some points in place of it.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm taking a magnet and I'm going to test you using my body. So if you want to see kind of what's happening, so I'm muscle testing with one finger. So I'm usually a muscle test with an arm. So I would hold your arm out and I'd push on your arm. But when I'm doing remote work, I have to do all the muscle testing myself. And my particular way of muscle testing is this finger becomes like your arm and I muscle test. So I'm asking your body. And actually, before I even do that, I'm going to do a little bit of congruency or rapport. So I'm going to take these magnets and I'm going to put them on my head, but I need you to squeeze your head and breathe in. Okay, so I need you, can you do that with your,
I need to like put my phone down somehow.
okay,
Let's see where we can take this thing. Okay, maybe
all right,
here.
because you may be doing some stuff with your hands. Okay, so I need you to squeeze your head together and breathe in. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out. And then breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Okay, and before you take your hand, now I need you to put a hand in the front of your head and one in the back. And on this one, when you breathe in, you're gonna lift skyward. So you're gonna lift your head up. So breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in, breathe out. And breathe in, breathe out. Okay, perfect, you did great. Okay, now I'm going to test points on your body, but I'm going to use my body to test them. So I'm muscle testing while I do red. So I'm doing, this is pituitary, pineal, cerebellum, and then I'm going to do, oh dear. All right, there's one that's not on a lot of people's list. That would be parotid, which has to do with chemical toxicity. So it means that you're very sensitive to chemicals. So that's what that, chem tox, okay. So it means you're super sensitive to chemicals. So that was a red. And then we're gonna go, whoa, really? I get like on your thyroid, it's hypo and hyper. So your thyroid does this, up and down and up and down.
Are you talking about me? Are you talking
Yep.
about me?
Yep.
Really? It's
Yep.
both?
It's both. So it goes way up, it comes way down. So it has a, so when they took their test, it was down. But they could have taken it on another day and said, oh my goodness, your thyroid's hyperactive.
Whoa.
Thyroid, red and green. Now, it's pretty typical for thyroid to go, for a thyroid that's having trouble to be associated with the idea that you are very sensitive to chemicals. So it means that you would be sensitive to the paste that they glue a rug down with, or the paint, that smell that's on the walls, or anything that they build with, or chemicals that might end up in food. Your body is a little hypersensitive to chemicals. I'm just going to tell you that. So that may have to do some with the thyroid. So it means, and you know, I'll say this that I know about you. You're a tiny person. You are a little tiny short girl. You're little, even though you think I'm a big girl. You're really very tiny. You have a tiny little frame, and you might. Well, you might have some like extra weight right now, but that might be because your body is trying to balance out this sensitivity to chemicals.
Oh.
So if you were really, so if you were really tiny and your body has all these chemicals it can't get out or handle or manage, you would be super, super sick. But if your body says, let me get some extra weight, then I'm not going to be as sick, right? So your body is trying to make extra tissue to balance out this chemical problem that it doesn't know what to do with.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're going to do it. So that was thyroid. We're going on down the thing. So heart, lung.
I don't think I should. Oh.
What? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like other like health issues that I have. Like, should I tell you other health issues or just that?
I'll ask in just a minute. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna go through all these points
Okay.
and see what I got. Oh my. Sheesh. I
Oh,
thought I'd find a whole lot more, but you are a young one, so you should be healthier. You should be healthier.
oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Wow.
What?
Did I miss anything? Adrenal? No. Adrenal. Okay. Kidneys didn't show up. Heart didn't show up. Liver didn't show up. Your big priority is you have chemical toxicity. So what else were you going to tell me about your health?
So I also have um like some anxiety and bipolar disorder.
Right. So,
Um,
and
Not sure if that really goes with this or not.
well, it probably does because chemicals tend to affect your neurological system, which is your brain.
Yeah.
Um, so let me ask this question. When they say you're like, what are your symptoms of bipolar?
Well, I like sometimes I'll get really manic, and when I'm manic, like I have racing thoughts. I like sleep very little, but I have like a lot of energy. I
Right.
get really creative. I start a lot of things but don't finish them, and I don't know, like um I just like act out of character kind of. Sometimes I get really easily irritable.
Yeah. Like you're not yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm me, but I'm not like it's like I'm like trapped in my body. Like, what the heck are you doing? And I'm just doing these weird things and it doesn't make any sense. And like sometimes like I get delusional when I'm manic. So yeah, those are
So,
some of my
let
symptoms.
me ask, so when you're manic, how long is that episode?
Well, some of them have last weeks, honestly. Like,
Wow,
um,
you can be weeks in manic?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
some of it lasts very long. It feels like. I mean, I've been hospitalized before because of my bipolar, and a lot of the times, like it was when I was manic, either when I'm manic or depressed, like really depressed. But yeah, that's
Oh my
something
goodness.
with.
So, so when did you get diagnosed? When did they figure out this is a bipolar syndrome?
Well, I got diagnosed a few years back. I think I was like still a teenager when I got diagnosed with it. I was probably like 18 or 19 years old, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And but it was basically you were up for a long time and kind of
yeah.
like
I'd
you
have
were
like
a
a grandiose sense of self. I'd have like this heightened like sense of self,
right.
and I like wasn't myself at all.
Wow. And then when you crashed, it was just like you wanted to die.
It was terrible. It's just like you're in this really dark place mentally, and I don't feel like myself when I'm like that. I feel sluggish. I feel tired. I feel like I can't do anything. Like I'm just stuck, and it's terrible.
Wow. Did you ever have any of these symptoms when you were a little child?
Actually, yeah, like I had a friend who like knew me when I was younger, and she was like, "Yeah, you had some of these symptoms of like depression and anxiety when you were like in fifth or sixth grade." So I mean, it's gone way back. I don't
Except that it wasn't as extreme. It got extreme as you got
Oh yeah,
older.
it got way more extreme once I got older. Um, I had an episode when I was in high school, my freshman year, and ended up in the hospital. It was really scary. I thought I had a premonition and I thought it came true and it like terrorized me. And I was like horrified. I was so scared. And I ended up in the hospital because people thought I was hallucinating. And actually, part of the dream was going to the hospital. So that was really confusing too because I was like,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
this was also part of the dream. And so it was really scary. And I didn't really know what to do, honestly.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah.
I'm going to ask you really quick because I forgot to. I just need to know that you're giving me permission to videotape you
Yeah, yeah,
and to
not by myself.
share it. Okay, perfect. Because we're kind of getting into some scary stuff here. Okay, so how are they treating your bipolar now?
Well, I'm on medications for it, and I see a counselor.
So wait, what was the first thing?
Sorry. 1 sec.
Just doesn't want to be alone.
Toby was barking at somebody because they're at the door, so I don't know.
Okay. So what are your treatments?
So I take medication for it, and I also see like my psychiatrist who prescribes the medication and my Christian counselor.
Oh,
So,
good.
and then I have like the support of loved ones, so that helps too.
So I just have to tell you, you like spoke about the beginning of this in high school. You spoke about it so amazingly well. I just want you to know that your compassion with yourself to be able to speak about that was amazing. So I just think you're amazing that you could like go through something so hard in your life and speak about it so easily. Like, it's just what I'm going through. It's not me.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what kind of, like, how many medications are you on? What meds are you on?
Well, I am on olanzapine, and I am on lamethal, and I am on
Okay, wait, Lamictal?
lamethal.
Oh, how do you spell that?
I'll look at my medicine real quick. I don't even know. Okay, I found them all just in case.
Okay. All right.
So I'm on lamethal, which is L.
Yeah.
There's like a dash, and then methyl, and then a dash. Yeah.
And then
B6, B12.
okay, and then so you're on L-methyl B12?
Yes, B6, B12.
That's nice. That's really good. That's good. Okay, what else are you on?
Olanzapine, 10 milligrams.
What is it called?
Olanzapine, Olanzapine.
Olanzapine. Yeah, that's a new one on me. I haven't heard of that one. Are there any others?
So yeah, there's Unithroid, 175.
Wait, how do you spell that?
It's U
Yeah.
N
What?
I
U-N-I?
yeah UNITHROID.
Yeah.
Unithroid.
Unithroid. Oh, that sounds like something for your thyroid.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that like, you probably don't know if that's like Synthroid?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, it's not what I would give for thyroid, but that's like that's a much better pill than the olanzapine. So what other are you on anything else?
Yeah, I'm on amoxicillin for my acne, and I also take birth control to regulate periods and hormones and whatnot.
Man, amoxicillin and then birth control
Yeah.
for acne, and all that's for acne.
Yeah, and also like my periods too.
Yes. Which would actually be all screwy because of your thyroid. Just letting you know.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what else? I used to have really bad cystic acne because of my thyroid.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that caused acne bad. That's
Thyroid, your thyroid is very important.
clearly. Yeah.
And yeah, so all right, so here's what I'm really happy about here looking at these meds. the only thing, and I don't even know what kind, I'm going to look it up because I've never heard of it. The olanzapine, I
Olanzapine.
don't, I don't know what that is. Like, what's it for? Is it for the bipolar?
Yeah, it treats bipolar disorder.
Okay. I like to know what they do, but I am thrilled to know that they only have you on one brain thing.
Yeah.
Except that I will say the L-methyl B6 B12, those are both really good for hormones and brain.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's a good one. I mean, that means it tells me that you've got a pretty decent a psychiatrist that's pretty decent because that psychiatrist hasn't put you on 10 meds.
Oh yeah, I actually have in the past had psychiatrists who put me on like a lot of medications at once, and I was a zombie. I couldn't function.
I'm going to tell you what, I remember that, Heather, because I would get in the car after church and I would go, what are they doing to Heather? She's a zombie.
No, it was terrible. I felt like I could not like function. Like I was drowsy. I was like zoned out all the time.
Right.
It was an out of body experience kind of because I wasn't my happy, bubbly, like,
Right.
full of energy self.
Well, you were basically numbed up, dumbed down.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it like mentally like messed up my brain. I feel like because I mean I've had so much trouble after this. Like I've had so many obstacles and hardships throughout this whole journey, and it's been so hard. And I feel like part of it can trace back to when I was just like zombie like, like for being in the hospitals and having like all these different doctors give me all different medications and all different diagnoses and not knowing what was going on with me. And my parents were like just trying, like they tried to be supportive as they could, but they didn't know what was going on either. They just wanted to do what the doctors were saying, but I was like zombie like, and they're like, look, my dad was even worried about me, like my adoptive dad. He was like, this is not like there's something wrong. And so he was like, don't take the meds. And my mom was like, you have to take the meds. So I didn't know what to do.
Nice. So there was this huge conflict.
Yeah, there was huge conflict. And
think about how weird that is too. It's like one parent is like saying no, 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 and the other one is saying yes, yes, yes. So it's like bipolar.
Yeah, and I think another thing, like my mom, she works for a pharmaceutical company, Eli Lilly. So she's like very strong believer in medication. But yeah, it was rough. It was really rough.
I am like so grateful that you're not on all those things anymore.
I am too.
Oh my gosh. I am so grateful. Okay, but even though so I want to get like your symptoms straight. So even though you're taking this one medication and you're taking something for your thyroid and you're taking some B6 and B12, even though you're taking these, you still have anxiety and you don't sleep really well.
Correct. Yes. Wait, how did you know I didn't sleep well?
You told me.
Okay.
I wrote it down.
Oh, you wrote it down.
I wrote it down, yeah.
So actually, I did tell you that like I would barely sleep and then I have like all kinds of energy, but also like sometimes I will sleep like a lot and still have no energy, so I don't really know. Or I'll like sleep but then I wake up a lot, so I do have sleep problems.
So you're not sleeping like the way you should sleep. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. That's another issue that will like keep you from having a normal body size.
Oh, wow.
If you can't sleep, if you don't have regular sleep, you will, no matter how little you eat, you will have a very hard time losing weight.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm telling you that so that you don't beat yourself up over the weight or go, why do I do this? And I never lose weight. I don't lose it.
I try to give myself a little compassion. I think some other people, like family members, like they'll point it out to me. They'll be like, "Oh, you're kind of, you need to lose weight. Like, are you on it? Like, are you dieting? Are you exercising? You need to do these things." And I'm just like, you have no idea. Like, it's so hard. Like, I mean,
It is.
I will do some of those things, and the weight doesn't come off super easily. And I'm just like, I get frustrated and give up. And I
Right.
mean, I've had some things that have worked in the past for me, a little bit, but then I always gain it back. Like it always comes right back. So it doesn't
Right.
matter how many
Okay.
times I try something, it always ends up coming back. So
Yes.
I don't
So
know.
I'm gonna tell you that from my perspective, you are not like in a horrible, horrible position. And I see people who've got lots of things that are like, oh my, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like a really, really like so many things they're going to have to do. I'm going
Yeah,
to tell you that your hypothyroidism and your sensitivity to chemicals, those two things all by themselves is enough to make it very difficult for you to lose weight.
yeah,
And you will feel healthier being fat because you have so much chemical in there that your body is going, if she's little, it'll be too much chemical and not enough Heather.
yeah. Makes
So
sense.
I'm just saying that to you because, you don't need to stress out over that at this point in your life. You
Mhm.
just need to focus on really paying attention to the whole chemical intake that happens in your life. That needs to
What
go
kind of
down.
what kind of chemicals would you suggest that I like what has chemicals that I should avoid?
You should be eating all organic food.
Really?
Yes,
All
and that's all organic. And for a lot of people, that's a big toughie, but they've actually done studies where they have like whole families will only eat organic food. Like they will not eat anything unless it is said it was grown organic, which means that it didn't get sprayed with chemicals. That's what
huh.
that means. It didn't get all the cleaner and all the stuff that is chemical put on it.
So
So
would the
they
chemicals be
will
like
actually, the family gets healthier just doing that one thing, just eating all organic by not putting more chemicals in my body. So
yeah.
I'm not messing with your meds.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, let's take the things you can control and see if it helps, where
Yeah.
you eat all organic. Now, one of the things that I would say along with that is that you probably need to avoid meat.
Avoid meat? Okay.
Yes. And, you could get organic meat, but I feel like you should probably just avoid meat
Okay.
because it's like meat takes a lot of energy to digest and manage in your body. And it is hard to find organic meat. It's just more expensive. But I'm thinking even if you got organic meat, you're going to have you're going to be on the struggle bus with how your body manages it.
You know, that's
So
actually pretty fine because like I'm not really a big meat person anyways. I've done
so
like yeah.
So yeah, so all organic. If it's not organic certified, just don't eat it. You can find canned food that's organic. You can find fresh food that's organic.
Mhm.
So, you got the whole beans and rice, and you've got lentils, and you've got greens and vegetables, and there's tons of foods you can eat.
Yeah.
Tons of food. And the other thing is, I don't know, do you drink milk?
Um, Sometimes like I don't really drink it plain a lot, but I'll put it in like mac and cheese or something. It's just not good for me. But
Right, right,
yeah, I don't
right.
really use it very much. Like I don't drink it on its own very often.
The only reason I ask is because that dairy would probably be on the line for you. So I would just say do less dairy,
Less dairy.
less cheese, but butter is fine. Okay.
Okay.
Butter is, as long as you do organic butter. So you're going to drive everybody crazy because you'll be going, is that organic?
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
all you would be doing is trying to decrease the load of chemicals that you put in your body.
So like
So
what are the positive like outcomes of if I change from like what I'm eating now to eating organic? Like what shifts will I see like in my life through that?
it should help you to start thinking with a little more clarity. Now, I'm going to recommend one other thing that you could use, and it's a supplement. Let's see, do you need parotid? It's Parotid. And this is kind of amazing, Heather, because I can like give people a ton of supplements. This would be the one I would tell you to take.
The PR, so I was writing supplement.
Yeah.
PR what?
And you would take, yeah, it's called Parotid, P-A-R-O-T,
PARO.
as in
T.
Tom,
Oh,
as in
okay.
I-D.
Gotcha. Okay.
So parotid, like your salivary gland. And you would take 10 a day.
10 a
And
day.
yeah, and they're little. So if you wanted to take 5 at breakfast and 5 at dinner, you could split it up, or you could take all 10 at once. The one thing, what parotid does, parotid actually goes and cleans up your excess toxins in your body. So it goes in and it cleans up the chemicals like none other.
Wow.
And it's nutrition. So it won't like clash with these other meds you're taking, because it's just going to like kind of clean them. It's going to like, but I don't think these are I think you're storing a lot of chemicals from way back.
Yeah. So when you way back, do you mean like the trauma and like everything that like, or
we're gonna do emotional too.
Okay.
So, and I'm also gonna check. Yeah, you currently take something for thyroid, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna like give you some little steps that I think will start to get you there. Okay. So we're gonna go to I want to find so all I got on you in my body scan was parotid, which is a chemical sensitivity point, and your thyroid, which is waffling back and forth. Your thyroid is kind of a mess. It's inflamed one day and then it's not acting the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, so your thyroid is very unhealthy, I think, because of the chemicals because it kind of is the filter for that. So we're going to put, let's see, if I put, let's see, the parotid was red. So we're going to go parotid green, and that's strong. And then I'm looking for a, yep. You clean up those chemicals and you're going to be on your way. But then you will be a super expert on how to eat clean. Yeah. I mean, so you may, taking the parotid and just eating all organic, you might find that you naturally start to lose weight. And you might find that you're sleeping better. So all of that, that would be the thing that I would tell you that is amazing. And all your hormonal stuff are resting on this thyroid. So we're going to do emotional on the parotid. So I need you to put your hand here on your cheek. Yeah. And then let's see. Okay. So parotid, and then put the other hand on your forehead. Okay. And then bring your hand down. Bring your hands down. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the stage of healing that she's in with her parotid gland, which is a chemical sensitivity point, is stage 4, which is depression or stuck. Like it's been stuck here and it's locked in with all these emotions. So how many issues? She's in stage 4. How many issues? 3 issues is what I test for. 3 issues. Yeah. So the first issue, love, family, current, self, grief. So this is Heather's grief. So I'm making some notes. So let's see, Heather's grief. So this is you feel grief with yourself. Why do you feel grief about yourself in your life right now?
I think it's just because I feel kind of in a place of being stuck. Like I am trying to figure out what kind of career or schooling I want to pursue right now, and that's been really rough on me because I just keep having like memories from past things that didn't work out, like when I go to school and then I
Oh,
get under a lot of stress and I'd
yes.
have an episode and I end up in the hospital and then I'd have to leave school. So that was really hard on me. So now when I think of like going back, I just remember that and that just weighs me down. And also with like sometimes relationships, like I've lost some people recently and that's been hard on me. And I don't know,
So
I
you,
guess I'm in a depression stage right now. Like I
yeah,
have like suicidal thoughts, like just not feeling like I have much to live for at this point, kind of thing, you know? And it's really
yeah.
sad. Like I want to like show myself more compassion, but it's just been so hard because I just like I feel like I hate myself sometimes, and I have
Uh,
to live with myself, so I shouldn't hate myself. And sometimes I
right.
feel like I just like with other people, like I get like all attitude. I'm just like, why am I like this? Because in my brain, I'm like, stop, and I just keep saying things that I wouldn't like, that I don't want to say, and doing things I don't want to do. And I'm like, why am I doing this? So
All
I
right.
think
We're
that
going
has
to find out. So your answer to I feel grief about my life is because I don't know what to do to move forward and I feel stuck.
yeah,
Is
I
that,
overthink. I overthink constantly.
yep,
I
I
talk
feel
myself
stuck.
out of things, and I make excuses, and I just feel like I can't ever do anything.
Right. And so I feel grief because I don't think I can do anything. And so
Yeah,
what's the point of living? And what's
yeah,
the point of even moving forward? And what difference does it make? Because I don't get to participate.
pretty
So
much.
that's it. Okay. So I feel grief. Is there an original conditioning event? Yeah. Age 5. So what was going on when you were 5?
When I was 5 years old, my biological mother overdosed and died. And then I
Oh
got
my
separated
gosh.
from my little sister and my family, and I was adopted to complete strangers.
Yes. So wait a
So,
minute. Okay. So let's like just unpack this. So you felt at age 5, this is where the grief is kind of stuck. So at age 5, you felt grief because you didn't know what to do. Were you there when she overdosed?
um, no, my little sister was there, and I think that was just my aunt actually found her because I was at my aunt's house that weekend that she overdosed, and my mom said that there was a man coming over that night and he's bringing vodka or whatever. And the man apparently left my mom there to die and my little sister and locked in a room with nothing but a Twinkie and dirty diapers. So, yeah, that was really hard and it was
So you,
traumatic losing my mother,
yes.
so my little sister and like pretty much most of my family as well, like because I was adopted, so I didn't see them very much except for like special occasions.
So
So that was,
what did you understand adoption? You were only 5. Did you understand that?
I just was like, you're my new mommy and daddy. Like I just kind of like I was such a brave little resilient child, and I just
Oh
like
my,
I carried it so well, but it was still heavy. It still
yeah.
hurt. I remember finding out at my aunt's house and I was sitting on her lap and I was just crying. Actually, I don't know if I found out there, but I remember crying on my aunt's lap and then I like went into my room and like closed the door in her house and I just sobbed because my mom was gone. I didn't really understand what death was, I don't think, but I
Yeah.
knew that she was gone and I knew that she wasn't coming back.
Oh my goodness.
I remember going
So
to her
did
funeral.
you understand she used drugs?
I don't think I understood much about drugs, but like I remember going to her funeral and I just remember like the sad energy in that room. And I remember my dad standing over her corpse crying. And I like went over there and looked and then I started to cry because my daddy was crying and I didn't know what was going on. So
Wow. So did you understand that she had accidentally killed herself?
um yeah, I think I sort of did. I mean, eventually I know I understood it because I was always taught that like if somebody like kills themselves then they're not going to heaven. So I had like this thought in my head at a young age, like, oh my gosh, like my mom killed herself, and I was worried that she wasn't in heaven, so that was really hard for a little kid to
Oh,
take. Like
so
now, it's just a part of sin and humanity. Like sometimes that happens when you're depressed and you're sick. Like that happens. But at the time, I thought it was a sin, and sorry.
How was your relationship with your mom? Was she like a good mom for you and you loved her, or was she difficult but you still loved her?
My birth mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that I loved my mom. It really hurt when she died, and that was my first time I think I felt like true grief. It was age 5, and that was like the hardest loss that I had at that age. But yeah, I had a good relationship with her. I mean, I think there were some times whenever it was harder because um she was under the influence of drugs sometimes, and she would leave me and my little sister like alone at the house or apartment or wherever we were living at the time. And she had some like abusive boyfriends and stuff, and one of them actually choked me when I was little, and that was traumatizing.
So,
um
so at age 5, everything you knew was that this was how your life was going to be, that this was going to be it. And then you found out, nope, it's not going to be this way because she died. And so it's all changing now.
Basically, yeah.
Wow. And all right, so but your mom and you had a good relationship.
I mean, I can't really remember because I was so young that I can't remember how good a relationship was. But I do know, like, I remember her singing "You're My Sunshine" to me when I was little, and I remember her praying with me sometimes, and I remember her beating the man out of the house, out of the apartment with a frying pan when he strangled me. So I'd say she was very protective of us. I mean,
Right.
she
That
definitely cared a lot about me.
that's
And her,
good. So, all right, so this first emotion is my grief, and it's because my mother. Now, here's kind of interesting, just for everybody who's paying attention here, and I think you would catch on to this too, Heather. We started with you have a sensitivity to chemicals
mhm,
that are not good for your body. And
mhm,
we went to age 5 when your mother took chemicals and accidentally killed herself.
yeah.
So that may be part of why your body kind of gets kind of sensitive to chemicals,
Huh.
because it still doesn't feel good about what happened to your mom. And the other thing is you said I don't know what to do because stuff hasn't worked for me, and so I don't know what to do next. I just feel stuck. When you were 5, you also felt stuck. It was the first time in your life you were overwhelmed with grief and loss, and you were 5, so you couldn't do anything as a 5-year-old. And now you're living your life and you're going, I might as well be 5 because I can't do anything.
Basically, actually, that's
That,
very true.
yeah. So it means that where you got stuck was when you were 5, and it was really true that you couldn't do anything, that you really did need this a family to come and take you in. But
Yeah.
it was still really difficult because it was like that.
Yeah.
Everything changed like that. Like, people don't understand how that's really hard.
Yeah.
Even when you're 3, it's hard. Um, so, all right. So, and you were 5. So this is Heather's grief. So we're going to start with the grief, and I'm taking my magnets out of here so I can just show you where I want you to put your hand. So this is Heather's grief, green. Okay. So I need you to put a hand on your lung and a hand on your forehead like this. I'm going to use my little magnet, fake magnet. Okay, I need you to put your hands on either side of your head and squeeze your head as we breathe in. So breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in, breathe out. Oh, okay. All right. Any other emotions? Wow, this is like amazing. No other emotions. One emotion. You've got a pile of grief in there that's never been really let out
Huh.
because there's more that you lost than your mom. You lost your house. You lost the future you thought you'd have with your mom. You lost that whole side of the family, and the way you related to them was just gone. So you lost a whole lot more than your mom. And you only got to really grieve your mom. That's
Yeah.
the only loss you really got to grieve because, you were the little girl whose mom died,
Yeah.
you know, and that all by itself can make a person feel really ashamed in a group of people because your mom didn't die and your mom didn't die. I'm the one whose mom died. So I must be like the one that's like no good or, even though I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's not even like just that. I mean, it's also just knowing like how she died, you know? Like I came
Yeah.
from someone who like was a drug addict and alcoholic and um I mean she had a beautiful laugh and a beautiful smile and there were good things about her. But
Her
yeah, it was
coping
hard
skills were not.
accepting where I came from, you know? And a lot of
Yes.
times I feel like I don't really fit in because I've had so many different life experiences. You know, a lot of people become who they are based off of their family and their life experiences. But like I've had several families, several life experiences, lots of traumas and lots of loss and grief. And
Yes.
I think that's like, it's been rough. I mean, it has
Yes.
been.
Yes,
And
and that one was just it was enough. You didn't, but there were more that came after that because that's just how it happens. Now,
yeah,
what I did while you were talking, I tested to see if when we do the forgiveness, we're going to do phase 2 trauma. And so for people who are on here, they know that it means that for Heather, she disassociated. So the reason you were the perfect little child to adopt is because you managed all this grief and loss by functionally disassociating. So it means you went on automatic. You did what you were supposed to do, but you didn't really think about it.
yeah.
So you're really good at, you can actually to this day, you can drive from point A to point B and never remember everything you passed on the way.
Wow.
You can go to work and do your job, but you may not remember all the things you did because you were just checked out the whole time.
Yeah.
But you followed all the rules, so you did the right thing and you didn't get in trouble. And so that's called phase 2 trauma, which means, so what that means is you have a hard time staying in your body. So I need you to, what you're going to do is you're going to tap on your head, on your brain. So we want to wake up both sides of your brain. So I'm going to have you, and just keep doing that. I'll do it with you. And I'm going to have you repeat after me what you need to forgive. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for believing
for believing
that I can't feel any more sadness and grief,
that I can't feel any more sadness and grief,
or I'll die.
or I'll die.
It's too hard.
It's too hard.
I can't handle
I can't handle
one more loss in my life,
one more loss in my life.
or I will, it's just too painful
It's just too painful
to feel that grief.
to feel that grief.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
wow. Mm. For not knowing what to do
for not knowing what to do
except to cope
except to cope
with drug and alcohol abuse.
with drug and alcohol abuse.
And then breathe. Yeah. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for using drug and alcohol addiction
for using a drug and alcohol addiction
and abuse
and abuse
to cope
to cope
with a life she didn't know what to do with.
with a life she didn't know what to do with.
And then
Oh my
breathe.
arms. You're
Yeah.
getting tired.
Okay, breathe in. You're doing great. You're doing great. Breathe in. Okay, I'm going to keep tapping here on your brain, but I want you to rub your hands on either side under your collarbone. So right here, you're going to rub like that. And just hold just below your collarbone, and I'm going to keep tapping, okay? So I need you to say, I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that there's more I need to do with my mom,
that there's more I need to do with my mom,
with my birth mom.
with my birth mom.
And then breathe. Yeah. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that there's unfinished movement
that there's unfinished movement
in my life
in my life
that I didn't get to take with my mom.
that I didn't get to take with my mom.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
I didn't get to say goodbye.
I didn't get to tell her I loved her. You're doing good. It's okay. Hang in there. You might want to tap on your brain a little bit. I didn't get to tell her, so you stay in there. I'm gonna be here with you, even though I want to reach through. I didn't get to tell her I love her and how important she was,
And how important she was.
and that I wish she wouldn't have died.
And then I wish she wouldn't have died.
I didn't get to make it okay for her.
I didn't get to make it okay for her.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom, my birth mom,
I forgive my birth mom
for
for
overdosing, for overdosing.
for overdosing.
And then breathe. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that I have to struggle like my mom, my birth mom,
that I have to struggle like my birth mom
in order to finish what I didn't finish with her.
in order to finish what I didn't finish with her.
I have to be sensitive to chemicals or sick
I have to be sensitive to chemicals or sick
so that I am always wondering what I'm going to do.
so that I am always wondering what I am going to do.
And I want to say overcoming what my mother never overcame,
What my mother never overcame,
so that I can feel like it's finished.
so that I can feel like it is finished.
And then breathe. I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for believing
for believing
that I have to stay stuck with the grief
that I have to stay stuck with the grief
of my mom not knowing what to do,
of my mom not knowing what to do,
and then her taking action that took her life.
and then her taking action that took her life.
And then breathe. I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that when I feel stuck and sad,
that when I feel stuck and sad,
that I have to feel like, just like my mom, that I don't have a life worth living. That I have to feel just like my mom,
that I have to feel just like my mom,
that I don't have a life worth living. You can go back down here again.
that I don't have a life worth living.
And then breathe. And that I don't matter.
and that I don't matter
to the people I'm leaving
to the people I'm leaving
or the people who love me.
or the people who love me.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for being so sad
for being so sad
that she didn't believe she mattered
that she didn't believe she mattered
to me
to me
or the people who loved her.
or the people who loved her.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for believing
for believing
that my little life would be better
that my little life would be better
without her in it.
without her in it.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for leaving before
for leaving before
I could say what I needed to say.
I could say what I needed to say.
I love you so much, Mom.
I love you so much, Mom.
I would have done anything to keep you
I would have done anything to keep you
or to save you from your addictions.
or to save you from your addictions.
I loved when you sang to me
I loved when you sang to me
and when you protected me.
and when you protected me.
I always knew you were a good mom,
I always knew you were a good mom,
even when you didn't think you were.
even when you didn't think you were.
And then breathe. I give my mom permission
I give my mom permission
to let go
to let go
of the guilt and shame
of the guilt and shame
of how she coped
of how she coped
with the demons in her life.
with the demons in her life.
I give my mom permission
I give my mom permission
to accept
to accept
Jesus wins
Jesus wins
and love wins,
and love wins,
even when
even when
there's a harsh battle for your soul.
there's a harsh battle for your soul.
And then breathe. I forgive my mom
I forgive my mom
for accidentally killing herself,
for accidentally killing herself,
and I give her permission
and I give her permission
to forgive herself for that mistake.
to forgive herself for that mistake.
And then breathe. I give my mom permission
I give my mom permission
to go into the light
to go into the light
where Jesus is waiting,
where Jesus is waiting,
and I will follow her much, much, much later.
and I will follow her much, 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 much later.
And then breathe. Without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I am free
I am free
to stop trying to fix my mom.
stop trying to retract. What? Sorry.
To stop trying to keep her from dying.
To stop her from
To stop trying to relive.
to keep her from dying.
Yeah, to stop trying to relive what she lived and do it better for her. I'm free
I'm free
to stop trying to relive
to stop trying to relive
what my mother couldn't handle
what my mother couldn't handle
in a desperate need to fix her.
in a desperate need to fix her.
And then breathe. I forgive myself
I forgive myself
for holding on
for holding on
to the life
to the life
I never had,
I never had,
the one that would have gone on with my mom
the one that would have gone on with my mom
if she had lived.
if she had lived.
I let go
I let go
of the future that never happened
of the future that never happened
with my birth mom.
with my birth mom.
And then breathe. Without this future that never happened,
Without this future that never happened,
I can relax
I can relax
and I am free
and I am free
to receive
to receive
all the good
all the good
my birth mom wanted for me.
my birth mom wanted for me.
And then breathe. Without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I am free to relax
I am free to relax
and accept the loss of my birth mom
and accept the loss of my birth mom
and the future I thought I might have with her.
and the future I thought I might have with her.
And that opens up massive space
And that opens up massive space
where I receive
where I receive
all the good
all the good
that Jesus had for me then,
that Jesus had for me then,
because he does love the little children,
because he does love the little children,
and all the good
and all the good
that Jesus has for me right now.
that Jesus has for me right now.
And then breathe. Without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I am free
I am free
to allow God
to allow God
to free me from the chemicals that are weighing my body down.
to free me from the chemicals that are weighing my body down.
Yeah, I don't have to hold on to these anymore
I don't have to hold on to these anymore
um, because of the loss of my mom.
because of the loss of my mom.
And then breathe. I increase
I increase
my level of acceptance
my level of acceptance
to my mother's death.
to my mother's death.
And I say yes
And I say yes
to all of the stored feelings of shame
to all of the stored feelings of shame
that I took on
that I took on
because my mother had this thing happen,
because my mother had this thing happen,
and because I was the little girl whose mother died.
and because I was the little girl whose mother died.
All the shame that I internalized for that,
All the shame that I internalized for that,
I say yes to it.
I say yes to it.
And I call it up
And I call it up
and I release it
and I release it
from my body, mind, and spirit.
from my body, mind, and spirit,
to God's love and mercy.
to God's love and mercy.
And then breathe. Yeah. Mm. Ah. All right. So how are you? Oh, wait, I need you to say, I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing
that I don't know what to do to succeed,
that I don't know what to do to succeed.
and that I forgive myself for believing that I'm the one who's stuck
I forgive myself for believing that I'm the one who's stuck
when it was really the memory of my mom
when it was really the memory of my mom
and the loss of my family and my future.
and the loss of my family and my future.
The future I thought I was going to get when I was 5.
The future I thought I was going to get when I was 5.
And I pray over these memories.
And I pray over these memories.
I love you, God.
I love you, God.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you
And thank you
for all the good
for all the good
and even the things that are hard
and even the things that are hard
that come into my life as a gift from you.
that come into my life as a gift from you.
And then breathe. Oh, that feels better. So how are you feeling?
Um, Feels a little different. I still feel kind of a weight in my chest, and I can't quite pinpoint it.
Okay,
Um, um,
weight in chest.
I feel kind of like I said things, but I'm not sure that I was fully present in the moment.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not sure that I believed everything that I said.
that's okay.
I
Yeah,
think that I wanted to believe it. Um,
right.
but yeah,
Well,
that's
and I'm going to send you this video on an email so you can look at it again and say, let me think about that and pray about it and
yeah.
just watch it again. You said you have a weight in your chest. Is this yours? No, it's
I don't know.
mom's.
It's mom's.
It's mom's. It's birth mom's weight in your chest. Mom's weight. Okay,
How,
so we're gonna see what we can do to help whatever she needs, like whatever that was that you took on from her. So one thing is it grief, mom's grief, birth mom's grief, because she broke my heart. So she has grief that she broke your heart. That's what it would be. So I need, let's see. So this is my birth mom's grief. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I need you to put your hand on your lung and a hand over your head like this, and then squeeze and breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in. What's your mom's name?
Debbie.
Debbie. I'm gonna write Debbie. Okay, so I need you to say, let's see. Yeah, so we're gonna do right here on your heart, so right under your collarbone. So you're doing fantastic. Thank you. Somebody wrote in the chat, she's so brave. You're so brave. And Keensa is telling you, you're brave, Heather. All right. So I
Yep.
need you to say, I, Debbie,
I, Debbie,
forgive myself
forgive myself
for breaking for breaking Heather's heart
for breaking Heather's heart
and not being able to give her the future she thought she would have.
and not being able to give her the future she thought she'd have.
Yeah, and then breathe. I need you to say, I forgive you, Mom,
I forgive you, Mom,
and God will heal my heart.
and God will heal my heart.
You are forgiven,
You are forgiven,
and I love you.
and I love you.
And you can release
And you can release
all the guilt and shame
all the guilt and shame
for leaving early.
for leaving early.
You are forgiven.
You are forgiven.
And then breathe. So I need you to say, I, Debbie,
I, Debbie,
tell Heather,
tell Heather,
I love you more than my own life.
I love you more than my own life.
I wanted you to have more than I could give you.
I wanted you to have more than I could give you.
And you are bright and beautiful.
You are bright and you are beautiful.
And I bless you
And I bless you
with a much better life
with a much better life
than I got.
than I got.
You can do anything, Heather.
You can do anything, Heather.
God blessed you with more than I could ever give you.
God bless you with more than I could ever give you.
And Heather, this Jesus thing is real.
And Heather, this Jesus thing is real.
I'm in a good place.
I'm in a good place.
Promise me, Heather,
Promise me, Heather,
that you will go on and make a great life that honors God.
that you will go on and make a great life that honors God.
And that will honor me.
And that
Breathe.
will.
Do you have anything else you need to say to your mom? Your birth mom?
I don't know, I feel like I said a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like we just said a lot of it.
Oh, good. Good.
But
How's
I'm glad that you're in a better place.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm glad you're my mom. I'm glad you gave me birth.
I'm glad you gave me birth.
I'm glad you did the good things for me you did.
I'm
Oh,
glad
it feels, yeah,
things from good.
I can receive that. I, Debbie, receive that.
I Debbie received that.
And then breathe. Yay. Oh, that feels better. How's the weight on your chest?
I don't feel it very much anymore.
So it moved. It changed.
Yeah.
Yay! You're great at this, Heather. Even being way over there. Being way over there. All right. Oh my goodness. I want you to say one more statement. Without this pattern, you're going to
Without
hold here.
Oh.
Yeah, without this pattern.
Without this pattern.
Wow. I am free to be happier
I am free to be happier
and healthier
and healthier
than I've ever been in my whole life.
than I've ever been in my whole life.
And that makes my birth mom
And that makes my birth mom
so happy
so happy
for me.
for me.
And then breathe. Oh, I have one more. Without this pattern,
Without this pattern,
I, Heather,
I, Heather,
am free
am free
to release
to release
all excess chemicals
all excess chemicals
that stood in place for my mom
that stood in place for my mom,
from my body, mind, and spirit.
from my body, mind, and spirit.
And then breathe. Yeah. Woo! So good. Yeah, let's see. Linda Collier says, "You're doing great, Heather." And Rob Scott said, "You are great at this. You are so good at this." So how are you feeling? Pretty good? I mean,
Um,
that way, this is gone, right?
I mean, I definitely feel like really kind of like it tugged at my heart, and I definitely kind of like was taken to like kind of feel that pain and that hurt. Um, Sometimes I have this like belief that like it's constant, like the pain, and that makes, I think that's where the weight comes from, is that pain. And um, but releasing it and just feeling like a positive energy and a
Yeah.
light, like that is
Ah,
so
listen
beautiful.
to you talk. You are amazing at this. Wow.
It's like she's right here with me, and I feel like she's listening to me, and I feel like she's smiling, and I feel like she's with God.
That's right.
I haven't
That
ever felt that before.
right, where you actually reconnected all the bonds of love that God wanted between you and her. You went, okay, God, I'll trust you and I'll reconnect this with me and her.
Yeah,
Because the truth is, you are half your mom. And when you are disconnected from that, that's the bipolar. You're only half there.
wait, really? That's where the
Yeah,
Bible comes from?
that's part of that. Yep.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I do wonder if, when you had the catastrophic event and when you were a teen and it got really, really escalated, I would say that it was probably because of this division of I never finished what I needed to finish with my mom. And so my soul is going, something's missing.
Yeah,
And so you got this like, I'm here, but I'm missing. I'm here, but I'm missing. And it was being pulled. And, nobody knew how to help you kind of reconnect that to your mom, that connection you always had, whether she's here or in heaven, you should be able to sense that connection because you're part your mom.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad you felt it, Heather. That's so good. And you get to also love the life that you've gotten, that came, that you never expected or even wanted when you were 5, because you didn't know anything else that could exist.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah. All right. Well, that was beautiful. I will send you an email. And then and it'll have a link and you can go right in and watch this. And I totally appreciate what you did. I'm going to see if anybody wants to pop on here and they might say stuff to you. They may say stuff, I don't know. Um, Sam, I'm not sure.
Where are we
Yeah.
starting
Hi, Sam. I don't know who you are.
from?
But thanks for being here, Sam. This was a really, really great session, Heather. And I'm going to tell you, Heather, even though you feel like you're a big hot mess and that you hit this wall and that you're never going to be okay, I'm going to tell you, I do not believe that about you.
Aw.
You are not as big of a hot mess as people have made you to believe. Yes, you've had hard things. Yes, but when you connect back to the love that you should have, like, if somebody you could have steered there, it changes everything. And
Yeah,
it opens the place and the energy so that you can actually start to get ahead of this chemical thing that's going on. And
mhm.
that God will help you with that. Because I think part of it, your body has been piling it on because that kind of held space for your mother,
Yeah, yeah,
because it kind of represented her because she OD'd,
yeah,
right? So that is like been like your connection to her was this chemical junk in your body. And now you get to say, no, my connection to her is this awesome feeling of love and connection that is true for children and their mothers all over the world, whether their mom's here or not.
Yeah.
So that should be amazing. So anyway, thank you, thank you. And if you want to get parotid, then I actually get that if you took parotid, you would take it 10 a day for 3 weeks, and you would clean up the mess. So if that helps you. And I do have it in my office. So yeah, or you could pick it up, or you could call Linda and she would mail it to you and you can buy it over the phone. So you need to take 10 a day for 3 weeks, and then you might take a couple a day, but you may not need any after that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking the 10 a day for 3 weeks is going to clean up the bulk of that excess chemical that has packed into your body, and that should help make you just overall, the achiness and the sleep, all that should get better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
think like a lot of these like health issues stemmed from that trauma from my childhood?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
You know,
know.
it's hard to have a mom who dies overdosing when you're
Yeah.
5. It's hard when you're 10 or 20, but when you're 5, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing is, everybody's been trying to heal the wound. And what we did was we worked on forgiveness and then reconnecting the bonds of love so that you could like reconnect to that part of yourself that is also your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually looking up stuff about like how much like percentages that you are of your family, and it's like 50% mom and 50% dad.
Yep.
I think like part of me was like, well, like I'm looking at that, I'm like I'm 50% my mom and 50% my dad. So like, but it's always confusing because I know environment also plays a role, in like shaping who you are. So it's weird because I have these like genetics, but then I have this environment, and they're completely different because my genetics like wasn't the same as my how I grew up. Like my biological parents, they didn't really hold a job. They kind like they were addicts, and um like they had mental health issues. And then I like go in this family of like hard workers, Christians, like who are always going to church and
Right.
who like encourage me and who like believe in hard work and going to school and getting an education and having a good job and being a productive citizen. Yet I have like these biological parents who are like the complete opposite of like what my adoptive family has taught me. So it's super confusing because I'm like, well, I'm 50% mom and 50% dad, but I'm also like in this new completely different world than I was like born to be in. And it's so weird. I feel like so out of place. Like I don't belong anywhere.
Except,
So confusing.
who put you in this place is God.
Yeah.
So it's God who scooped you up and said, not this one. She's going to go over here.
Yeah.
And you have amazing compassion and experience and intelligence and love. And you got a lot to do here. Just, it's gonna, as you start to feel better and you tend to your body and your mind and you clean up and you reconnect to mom's love, you're gonna notice that things start to open up. And where you thought you were stuck, you're gonna have lots of choices, and you won't be afraid.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be afraid like you were before because, a lot of hard things happen. So that would make you afraid.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good, Heather. I'm gonna let you go, and I will. For Sam, I will be posting this if you want to review it. It'll go on my EPT Works Facebook page.
Okay.
So wait, let me hit this stop recording. I so